exciting. I think it's nice. You know, one of the major problems in this country is this sort of reflexive. It's a sort of reflexive oppression. You know, you're a woman, you're black, you're gay, you're just expected to have politics X. I'm not suggesting that all of the black people who see what Kanye has said and are kind of secretly titillated or excited or thrilled by are going to rush to the Republican Party. But it would be nice if people were able to express themselves a bit more freely, openly, and honestly. And that's what, you know, this is what the left has done by, you know, by criticizing, you know, free expression, by policing our language. They've made Kim Kardashian the most sensible person in the country. All she said was, wouldn't it be nice if we could all just express how we really feel? You know, there's an entire generation of black Americans who do not like the Democrats. Kanye said, and he was absolutely right, Obama was in office for 8 years. What changed in Chicago? Actually, nothing changed for black people in the country more generally. Things got worse. He's quite right to point that out. He's perfectly entitled to point that out, and lots of black people agree with him.
Well, let me ask you a question. You've been outspoken against celebrities getting political and expressing their political views. Do you think it's a double standard that now you say, oh, Kanye, look at him, he can express it, and let's look what he has to say?
I think that people get frustrated with celebrities expressing their politics because every celebrity seems to have the same politics. It's very, very rare that somebody of Kanye's stature and celebrity would say anything that isn't fully paid up Democrat. I don't particularly care what actors have to say about politics. All I like in this specific case, I don't mind if he's just saying it to sell albums. It doesn't matter. What I like in this particular case is if it opens up the ability for other black Americans to speak more freely in the way that gay Americans say they can speak freely thanks to my activism over the last 2 years. I think it's wonderful. And like I say, there's a whole generation of black Americans who have felt that they cannot say this stuff. My husband, for instance, you know, he's a PhD. He wants to do policy analysis, freeing kids who are coming out of foster homes and group homes, freeing them from the welfare trap the Democrats have laid down for them. He loves this. He's excited by it. He doesn't care really if Kanye is just saying it to sell albums. What this does is create space for a conversation for people to be more honest.
You know, and that's what I was going to ask you, is the obvious question is the marketing.
Yeah.
Kanye has 4 albums coming out, including a solo album. Kim Kardashian is pushing her perfume.
But it doesn't matter because, you know, celebrities, you think celebrities say anything ever for any other reason? I mean, like, the relationships that we see are confected. They're put together by publicists. The political statements we see are designed to, you know, situate the celebrity in a politically correct realm of acceptable thought. Everything they say is calculated. It's nice in this instance that it has led to a bit more discussion about whether, you know, black Americans should...
Do you think he'll push the political needle?
Yes, and it doesn't, as I say, it doesn't matter whether it was sincere. It doesn't. None of this stuff matters. The Democrats have an existential problem on their hands, which people like me, of course, find a delicious prospect. If you know, if black Americans suddenly say, actually, what did you do for us? Because you said that you supported us, and you called all of these people racist, and I don't really see the evidence for that. And as far as I can tell, stuff for black Americans is worse than ever. I mean, this is an existential problem for the Democrats. Well, they're going to be left with like 5,000 angry lesbian gender studies professors and some dreamers by the end of it all. I mean, it's over for them if black Americans suddenly stop being independent.
You're making the assumption that all black Americans are Democrat, you know, by saying this.
No, I think that every celebrity, every journalist, every college professor has made that assumption. I don't make assumptions about them at all. I think, you know, gay men are probably 50-50. You know, I think lesbians probably overwhelmingly Democrat. I think black people probably still are, you know, mostly Democrat. But it'd be nice if the 2 in 5 perhaps that aren't, who don't vote and don't say so, now feel a little more able to do so.
Well, no doubt there's a lot of vitriol out there, and you were sort of the target of some of that when you went into a bar in New York City, which is a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
What happened there?
Well, this is another example of how the Democrats say they support minority groups but don't really advocate in our interests. They broke the cardinal rule they got between a gay man and brunch. I was just out there trying to like have lunch with a friend in New York, and this band of like 25, you know, screaming harpies and crazies, they're little hangers-on, all the rest of it, started chanting about Nazis. I'm a gay Jew with a black husband and an immigrant, by the way. I check all the Democrat boxes, but because I have the wrong opinions, they call me a white supremacist, they call me an anti-Semite, they call me a Nazi. It is an awful thing to endure. Now, I'm not a victim. I can take it. You know, I have big whatevers and resources and an attitude problem, so I'm fine. But there are plenty of people who are not fine. For every time that happens to me, there are, you know, like 200, 500 people you don't hear about who will never express their political opinions in public again. And if you look at the Cato Institute study from the end of last year, it showed that 76% of people who have conservative opinions are terrified of expressing them in public. Meanwhile, over 30% of people who describe themselves as having far left opinions are perfectly, only 30% of people with far left opinions are worried about expressing those. There is clearly an unarguable double standard.
You are always free to express your opinion here.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Milo.
Okay. Milo will be speaking tonight at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo.
Yes,
tonight?
I'm afraid it's sold out, as all my shows are. But thank
Wow,
you for.
Don't be modest here,
Well,
Milo.
I'm
Don't
very
be-
good at being
Don't be
humble.
modest at all.
Best of
All
luck,
right.
Milo. Thanks for coming
Thanks
in.
so much.
We will make America great again.